Okay, perfect. So welcome everyone. Let me know if everyone can hear me.
Yep, I can hear you.
We're good.
Okay, perfect. So more people might join later, but until then, we've got, let me see, one, two, three, four, five, six people in here. So yeah, I'm really just gonna get straight into it. As you know, I have a guest speaker on this week. His name is Darrell. So I'll let him introduce himself, but I've known him for I think it's been over a year now. And he's definitely one of the best when it comes to like building out websites, building out funnels, helping you just make money and monetize your social media or even just your business. You don't have to have a social media, but yeah, I mean, he can definitely help you monetize social media, monetize your business online with funnels. If you don't know what funnels are, he's gonna probably talk about that tonight. But he's really good with graphic design and all that as well. So, Darrell.
What's up? What's up? What's up, family? Brian, thank you for the warm introduction and for sure, right? I personally like to say on the online space, things move extremely fast, right? So what I mean by that is kind of moves in like dog years. That's what I say, right? Like literally a year is like 7 years, right, to the average person. And for someone to, I've been online personally for about 4 years when I quit working at JP Morgan Chase. I completely gave it up to follow my dreams. And to be honest, it wasn't all rainbows and peaches and delightful. But I'm here to say that over those 4 years, I've seen a lot and I look forward to seeing a lot more. But I'm here today to hopefully share my experiences, share some things that you may not have thought of. And I might share some things that you have or are familiar with, but it may just be more confirmation that you're in the right room at the right time, right? So, once again, thank you, Brian. By a show of virtual hands, and by virtual hands, I mean like ones or twos in the chat. How many of you have an online business? So give me a one if you have an online business, right? And give me a two if you're like, hey, Darrell, I don't have an online business at all, but I aspire to have one, right?
Right.
Okay, okay. I see some ones. Well, Brian, of course you know you have an online. Linda, okay. So Brian, Linda, Bernie, where are you? Do you have an online business or do you aspire to have one? John, let me
See
know.
here.
The class is relatively intimate, so I can call people out. I don't have one. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so today I'm gonna share with you some of the online things, some of the online principles. I personally believe that everyone should have an online business. Why? Specifically, you can sell your IP, your intellectual property, and you don't have to be a genius, right? You don't have to be a PhD, but you can make a lot of money selling what's already in your head. So if you're a welder, you can teach people how to weld, right? Or teach people how to pass the test. My wife, she actually creates she does balloon arches and things like that on the side. And of course, she has digital products teaching other moms how to actually create these little balloon arches, right? For different occasions, whether it's a birthday, a wedding anniversary, right? Instead of paying 300, 400, $500 to someone else, they'll learn how to do it in a span of 30 to 40 minutes, right? So I want you to think about if you don't have an online business, as I go through these slides and start to present some information, I just want you to think about what comes easy to you, or what are you currently doing in your life that people are like, hey, how did you do that? Right? How are you doing that so effectively, so easy? Because that's where people typically start, right? Now, if you already have an existing online business, as I present this information to you, I want you to start to think from a lens of how can I apply this information to my business in 72 hours? Why 72 hours? Because it's been proven that after 72 hours, your likelihood of taking action declines drastically, right? So every time I hear a speaker, every time I go to an event, anytime I listen to a podcast or an Audible book, if I hear a nugget, I'm looking to implement in 72 hours because I know if I don't, then it won't happen. Now, the good thing about us, right? If you already have an existing online business, you may have an employees, right? So the great thing about action taking is it doesn't matter who takes the action in your business as long as it's taken so that way it can grow, right? So if you have your employees implement something that you learn, it's just as good as you, right? But 72-hour rule. So I'm gonna share my screen. Brian, let me know if I can share. I sent you over a request.
Yep, you got it.
Awesome. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I'm super excited, right? All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So I'm gonna share this with you all. All right. So for people that already have an existing online business, you may have an inkling of like what the heck this guy is talking about when he's talking about funnels. And for people that do not have an online business, you may completely be like, man, I don't know what this funnel thing is, but I'm simply going to break it super down for you all, super simple, because I believe that when you actually have a point of reference, this information will just right? You'll just slide through, right? So as I'm presenting and I talk about funnels, all I want you to think about is a process that you take someone through to get an end result, right? So we have three core processes, right? For those that are on the online space, no, I typically say funnel, but for people that are new to the information, I'll say processes, right? We have three core processes that create cash flow, qualify leads, and book appointments. So in this online game, I like to keep it super, super simple. You need traffic, right? Which is a way to get in front of people to share your ideas, right? You need a point of conversion, right? Whether that's getting name, email, phone number, and then you need a follow-up system, right? So today I'm gonna share with you the three core processes that I typically take in people's businesses. All right. So today's agenda, I always like to set the agenda. So when you leave, you'll know the following. And please, if at any point in time or any point in time during this presentation, if you feel like, hey, look, hey, Darrell, I have a question, feel free to answer it. I literally been doing this for 4 years, and this is all I do. I don't have any outside job in this like 24/7. As you can see, it's 8 o'clock, and I'm presenting for you all. This literally saved my life, right? So raise your hand, feel free to mute. You can definitely butt in and say, hey, Darrell, what about this? Or I got a question here. I won't take it personal. I want you to get the information because you're here. The worst thing that you can do is show up, right? Show up physically, but not show up mentally. That's the worst thing you can do because then you're just wasting time, right? So when you leave here, if you do not understand these four things, I want you to stop me and say, Darrell, go back. I did not understand this, right? So I'm going to reveal to you guys the exact funnel to book qualified appointments. The funnel we use to sell in mass quantity. I'm talking one to many, right? So this exact process allowed a few of my clients to have their first 5K day in the beginning, their first 10K day, and some of my clients had their first 100K day using
Right.
for two, right? The digital product funnel for sales, right? Brian runs this consistently. He has his own digital products. We call that making money in your sleep and not on your feet, right? And then the next thing I'm gonna show, number four, is how to spy on your competitors. Now, for some of you, you might be like, all right, Darrell, I don't need this. But for others, this will be truly eye-opening because you'll be able to truly see what's working, right? At any point in time. So if you ever feel lost in your business, all you have to do is look to your right or look to your left, and you'll say, hey, look, I see this person is doing this and they've been running it for X amount of time. So let me just test it to see if it'll work for me. Right? That's the biggest thing, the biggest mistake I see most people make in business in general is they try to create something completely new when that's the wrong way to look about it. I want to look and see what's already selling, what the marketplace wants, and how can I put my own spin on it? How can I put my own twist on it? And how can I make what's existing even better? By better, typically we mean faster results, right? Quicker process or easier process, right? That's what I mean by better. Think of the dominoes effect. same pizza, but they got it to people faster than the competitors, which allowed their business to blow up. Right? All right. So once again, we're going to make these three stops on the bus: the qualification funnel, the one-to-many funnel, which many people know as the webinar process, and then the DPF, which is the digital product funnel. I'm going to share all my secrets with you all. So I'm a firm believer of information is nothing without execution, right? I expressed that to you all in the beginning, 72-hour rule, right? So anything you hear, if you see value in it, right? If you think you can apply to your business, either you or a team member should be executing within 72 hours, right? And then execution phase without accountability. For you all, you don't have to worry about that because you're in this mentorship group with Brian. I guarantee you, if you tell Brian you're going to do something, I know for sure Brian has the type of personality that if you say, hey, Brian, I'm going to call you at 7, when it's 7:01 and you don't call Brian, he's probably going to be calling you. Right? Like, hey, you said me at 7, it's 7:01, right? So share your goals for sure. If you lean on Brian, lean on the group, you need that accountability, right? So, all right, so funnels and the power of automation. If you're looking for qualified leads, which every single business needs leads, right? You need people that are interested in your product. I'm going to share the qualification funnel. Simplicity scales, fancy fails fast. I'm a firm believer in that. When I first got into this space, I was inundated with information, so many different type of processes and systems and all this stuff. And then one day I paid a mentor and he said, hey, Darrell, the simpler you keep the process, the easier it is for someone to go through your process, but it's equally as easy to see where the faults are in your process, right? If you have a overly complicated system, then you can't see where the choke points and fail points are, right? So here's the problem that most people face, right? When it comes to me, the leads are bad or they can't afford your product, right? And I always hear, hey, Darrell, let me know if for anybody's been in this space, right? Let me know if you've ever heard this. I believe that people can afford a good deal. And most of the time people will say, hey, if I had a Lamborghini that's worth $1 million and I told you I needed $30,000 for it, you would find the money, right? Right? That's what a lot of people say. But I truly believe, yes, some people may find the money, but there's an equal amount of people that may not find the money, right? So when you come into this ecosystem, I want you to realize a lot of people simply look at the numbers, but they fail to realize that there's a person on the other end, right? And the quicker that we can realize that we're serving people, the quicker we can realize that every person is created equal. Sometimes a person can afford your product and service right now, and then sometimes it may take a month, 2 months. Hey, I've had people follow me for a year and say, "Hey, Darrell, during this time, I just wasn't in a position to work with you, whether it's financially, mentally, right, or system wise, like my infrastructure wasn't where it needed to be to work with you." And then a year later, they became a client. Were they a bad lead? Not at all. It's just the time wasn't right at that moment for them. So when you start to generate leads, I want you to look at it from a lens of, hey, this is a person. No lead is a bad lead. It just might not be the right time, right? So what you see on the screen is Chinese, right? What you're seeing on the screen is Chinese. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. For some of you all, it may look like hieroglyphics because you're like, what the heck is going on? But this is a high-level overview of the funnel that we use for qualifying leads and collecting leads, right? So I'm gonna go in depth of each part of the process, but it's not super complicated, right? So during this qualification process, you have an opt-in, and I'll show you what that page looks like. That's part one. Step two is a value-based video, right? Value-based video that solves an immediate problem that
Hey,
your client takes. Hey, hey. Step three, right here, is your application and or survey. Step four is your calendar, right? And then I would say this is kind of like step 3.5, right? So this is if people do not fill out the application and they don't meet your standards, this is 3.5, right? This is a digital product or another complementary service that will help them get them to a place where they actually can use your service, right? And then of course, step five right here is purchase, right? All right, I know I said a lot, right? I know I said a lot. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? And I'm gonna kind of sit this right here so I don't really miss out on them. All right, cool, cool, cool. All right, cool. Y'all rocking with me? Y'all rocking with me? All right, cool. All right, so I'm gonna walk you through a real life example of one of my clients. She is a box truck coach. So essentially, her and her boyfriend, um, they got together and it was like, hey, I want to get into this box truck business. They did really, really well in the box truck business, and they still do to this day. So because the couple, they started branding themselves, people started asking them, hey, do you have a training? Do you have a mentorship? How can me and my boyfriend, how can me and my significant other take the same path and get to the same success that you all did? Right. And naturally, once they started to share, coach, and have other people get success, she started to get inundated with people saying, hey, I want to do this, hey, I want to do that. And then when she came to actually telling them it's X amount, hey, it's $2,000 for me to coach you. Hey, it's about she started to realize, hey, Darrell, I'm having conversations with people and they aren't aware of the price, right? So now people are talking to me, but they aren't really ready to buy. They aren't really ready to buy. So this is the process that we take a person through in order to make sure that one, financially they're qualified, right? Two, we want to see where they are in the customer's journey, right? Typically, I want to see, hey, have you even tried to start up a box truck business before, or are you new to this? And that's pivotal because typically, if someone has went to a competitor, if someone's already in your industry, they're likely to buy. They just need to hear one or two things that'll take them over. Now, if someone is completely new, right? Most of those people are typically looking around to see which person is best for them, right? So if a person tells me, hey, I've been in this business before, I've purchased a training, I purchased a course, I've been in the mentorship, that's the perfect person to talk to. Because now I can lean on their past experiences and say, hey, you took this training, hey, you took this mentorship. The reason you're not at this position is because you tried to do this and that no longer works. So it puts me in a position of authority, right? So what you see in front of you is our first page. Remember, Darrell keeps things super simple. So this right here is a headline: how to start a six-figure box truck business without owning a truck, right? So how to desire without the biggest roadblock, right? So you might say, hey, Darrell, how did you know that this was the biggest roadblock, right? Essentially, all we literally did was just ask the community. We asked our followers. We asked the people that was on our email list, hey, what is the number one thing that's stopping you from getting into the box truck business, right? And 80% of the people said, well, I don't have the money to buy a truck, right? I don't have the money to buy a truck. So when we figured that out, we was like, oh, that's it, right? So then we put the biggest roadblock here. So now if a person thought, hey, I don't have the money to buy a truck. Oh, okay. Well, this is removing my biggest roadblock. Let me check the free training out, right? A few things that you're going to learn in the training and a button. A few things you're going to learn in the training and a button. Why? I want to give a person enough information to make a decision. Not overly analyze, but enough information to say, you know what? Okay, let me check out this training. Right? That's step one. Step two, name, email, phone number. Name, email, phone number. In today's time, data is gold. Data is gold, right? And I know it to be true because Facebook provides a free platform to get all us on there because they have all the data that the advertisers need in order to put targeted ads in front of you, right? So the more data that you have, the name, email, phone number, the easier it is to get in front of a person and put a message in front of them, right? And if you know how to monetize your message, you can continuously bring in income, right? So if you're new to the online space, the first thing you should be looking to do is figure out a problem you can solve in exchange for name, email, phone number, right? Because the bigger your database, right, the easier it is to put out offers to see if you can monetize it, right? Now, if you already are in the online space and you're not collecting name, email, phone number, this is where the 72-hour rule comes into play, right? So you need to start collecting name, email, phone number. Why name, email, and phone number? Why not just name and email? The reason that I tell people to collect the phone number, even if it costs more to get it, is because most of the people have their phone somewhere close to them, right? So most of the people have their phone somewhere close to them. When it comes down to email, there is a delay, right? Some people check their email in the morning, some people check their email in the evening. I mean, some people check it on the hour, and some people check it whenever they want to. But if you have your phone with you, typically you'll get the text. Right? All right. So the next step, we want to show them the free training, right? Show them the free training. Now, this is where I love to keep it super simple. A lot of people overanalyze. Hey, Darrell, do I need to be in front of a whiteboard? Do I need to have all these elaborate cameras? No. What you should be is congruent to what you're teaching or showing them. She's in the box truck business. So I said, hey, I want you to be in the box truck when you do the training. I want you to be in the box truck, right? So you can see she has on her vest. You can see that she's in the truck. So as she's speaking, it's congruent to the training, right? So if you are a gym or personal trainer, right? When you start doing your trainings, you should be giving out information in the gym, right? You want to make sure that it's congruent. Now, a few other things that we put on this page strategically is the different steps that's going to be revealed in the training, right? The reason being is we want, when people hop on this page, we want it to be simple, but we also want to make sure that they're going in a direction. If a person sees no direction, then they leave, right? And that's the exact same reason when I first presented this presentation to you, I gave you the direction that we're headed. I gave you the agenda, and then I also showed you the 3 steps. Sense of direction. If there's no direction, you can direct your way out, right? So that's in all aspects of the online space. The better you can direct the person and show them the path, the more likely they are to take it, right? So step 4 was definitely pivotal, a application process. Now, most people they try to hide the price. I'm a firm believer of showing the price, right? When you go buy a car, when you go to the grocery store, they don't hide the price. They say, "Hey, this apple is $2, right? This candy bar is $1.50." Most coaches, most people when even when they're doing lead generate, they try to hide the price. For us, we wanted to show the price so a person can already be anchored at this price tag. We want them to say, "Oh, okay, this is a 5K investment." So if you do need to think about it, I want you to think about it before you fill out this application, not after, right? The next thing we asked them is what is your income goal for the year? That's really, really important. The reason that's important is because the more you know about a person, when you actually are speaking with them, you can direct them on a path. If a person's income goal is $1 million, then the blueprint that we create for them is going to be significantly different if someone only wants to make 100K in a year, right? So if you don't know where a person wants to go, then how can you get them there, right? The next question, have you tried to start a box truck company before? So as I stated, that's really, really important because now we can reference past experiences. Hey, I tried to do this. Oh, okay, cool. That was perfect. We tried that too, and it doesn't work because of XYZ. We instead do this. This is a new way of doing things. This is a new program. This is a new process or different process than what you've tried before, right? What's your biggest obstacle when it comes to starting your box truck company, right? And this is another way that we also got the data. Hey, I think I need to own a truck. No, you don't, right? And if we accept your application, are you committed to following the blueprint? That's pivotal too, right? Because some people think that once they actually pay, they no longer have to pay attention sometimes. And in the coaching program, right? Information is on her, the execution is on the mentee. Just like this program, information is on me, the execution is on you, right? All right, so step 5 in this process is what is to come next. So once a person fills out the application, we want to make sure that they come prepared for the call. Most people don't show up for a call because they don't know what to expect when they're on the call, right? They don't know what to expect when they're on the call, right? Anytime it's a mystery, they are history. That's what my mentor said. Darrell, anytime it's a mystery, they are history. They out, right? Because mentally they're thinking, hey, this person is just trying to sell me. They don't really care. They just want the money. So we have a video strategically going over what the call will look like. If you already have past calls, we'll do a snippet and reference past calls. And then we'll also have testimonials underneath of it. We prefer video-based testimonials. And if we can, we'll have situational-based testimonials. Why? Because people can pretty much connect with people that are that are in their similar situation, right? So if it's a mom, I want to paint the picture. Hey, I'm a mom, stay-at-home mom. I want to start a box truck business. If it's a woman, which a lot of her mentees are women. Hey, I'm a woman. I started a box truck business. It's a predominantly male industry. We're making it happen, right? And I want people to tell that story, right? So this process right here that I just shared with you was the process that we use to get qualified leads. Now, leading up to that process, if you do not have content, typically we'll use ads if you don't have the content. So here's 3 ads, right? 3 ads, if you're familiar with how to create advertisements on these platforms that we typically use, right? So to the left, you'll see is one of my other guys named Brian. Super simple ad, background, text, background, text. Watch my free masterclass, right? Here's another guy that's big in the space, Cole. He uses a video where he's training, and then it goes into his lead qualifying value-based video into the process I showed you. Here's another one of my colleagues, Adrian. He does a similar situation. He calls out who he serves, corporate professionals. He calls out the biggest pain point, and then he provides a free training to solve that pain point, right? And he takes them through the exact process that I just shared with you all. All right, so naturally, I know I just shared the process with you. You may be saying, okay, is this like right for me? Is this process the process that I need to implement into my business, or should I be using this process to even start a business? Right. So my lens is, do you have quality content that is bringing in traffic? This is big. If you already have content that's bringing in traffic and you need a filtering system, this is perfect for you, right? Do you have a closer? By closer, I mean a salesperson, or are you fine with taking sales calls? If you do not like taking sales calls, and if you do not have anyone to actually take the calls for you, then this process is not free, right? Simply put, because people actually have to talk to you before they exchange cash with you or make a payment, right? Do you offer a high ticket product or a high margin product like funding? This is key too, right? Because if the margins aren't there, some people don't want to talk to 10 people for $100, right? But people will talk to 10 people for a chance to make $10,000, right? So I'm a firm believer that in this online space, a lot of people are telling the truth, but it's the lies of omission that keep people stuck. So that's why I'm sharing this with you to show, to say, okay, hey, is this process right? Because you can tell somebody to use this process, but if I don't tell you the qualifying aspects of it, then you're going to try this process and you're going to hate it and you're not going to do well with it. So if you have traffic, if you're fine with taking calls or you have someone to take calls for you and you have a high ticket or high margin product, then I would try this process. Without these three things, I can show you some other processes, right? All right. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? Any questions, any thoughts, any ideas? Or y'all just gurus. All right. Okay, cool. All right, cool. All right. So the second process or the second funnel, right? The one-to-many funnel that leads to sales. The one-to-many funnel that leads to sales. Awesome. Okay. Thank you, Elisa. The one-to-many funnel that leads to sales. So this funnel gets me so excited. Or this process, the one-to-many process gets me so excited because I've seen so many clients use this process to this day, and we continue to lean on this process because it's just so profitable, right? Instead of talking to a person, just like I said in that last process, like if you don't like to consistently have sales calls, then this process can help you eliminate it, right? You help you eliminate it. So here's the problem that this process typically solves. The people are not sure if the product is for them, right? The people are not sure if the product is for them. I'm interested, I'm curious, I'm not all the way serious, right? I'm curious, I'm not serious. I need to understand if what you're selling is really for me, right? What you're selling is really for me. So this is some more Chinese. This is some more Chinese, right? No, but this is the high level overview of the webinar process, right? The webinar process. By a show of virtual hands, give me a one if you are familiar with webinars. Give me a two if you have zero clue of what a webinar is. Okay, Bernie, excellent. Thank you. Thank you for participating. I guess Bernie's okay. Okay, Rhea. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Oh man, this is great. This is great. Okay, so this shows, for one, me personally, this shows that times are changing because literally about 3 years ago, I would put this up or something similar, or even talk about a webinar, and people would literally, the chat would be full of twos, like two. So typically what I would have to go to is like, hey, are you familiar with QVC? And then everybody, yeah, we know QVC, we know. And I'm like, okay, that's a webinar. They're like, oh, that's why my grandmother was buying things when she shouldn't have been buying stuff, right? So so essentially, this is the same process that QVC took to blow up, right? Same process that QVC took to blow up. And this process allows you to demonstrate your expertise. It allows you to demonstrate your product. It allows you to also knock down the objections while a person has all their attention on you, right? So this is a high level overview. And of course, in my fashion, I'm gonna share with you the pages. But this is a high level overview of like, hey, what does this process look like if I'm on a plane and I'm looking down? This is what it looks like, right? You have a registration page because they're registering for an event. You have a what we call mini sales page, right? So we offer the opportunity to solve a small problem before they actually come to the event. Then if they say no to that price, we do a cheaper price, right? And then we have a thank you page with instructions on the date of the event, the time of the event, and you can also have a video just explaining what they're going to learn, as well as remember, everybody needs a destination. What they're going to learn, where they are, and where they'll end up after they actually attend the event. We hold all of our events on Zoom just because it's just regular, right? It's no extra steps needed. Most people right now are familiar with Zoom. Shout out to COVID, right? Most people are familiar with Zoom. They have Zoom on their phone. They have Zoom on their computer. They know how to access it. Now, some other people use different fancy softwares. You keep it simple. Keep it simple, team over here, right? And then at the end, you typically will have an order page or a deposit page, right? So this eliminates you having to have 10, 20, 30 sales calls. You can have 5, 10. The most I've seen on a webinar room was about 2,000 people, all in one room, all hearing information, right? All knocking down objections. And not all 2,000 people purchased, right? But a lot of people did, right? So go back. And then what you have underneath is the emails and text messages, right? Emails, just letting people know, hey, what to expect. Some of your personal stories, right? Because a lot of people that are going to be registering for this webinar, some of them may not know you, right? The emails are a chance for them to get the understanding of who you are as a person, your trials and tribulations, and things you had to go through, right? So the faster you can build a connection, the easier it is for someone to put their guard down and actually, right, listen to the information, digest the information, right? So we're looking to build connections through emails and text messages. No selling, just connections, right? All right, so this is one of my clients. His name is Delmar. Good old country guy, right? Good old country guy. So he stumbled into he was a trucker, OTR, which is over the road. He did a lot of things over the road. And what he quickly realized is that a lot of truckers needed trailers, right? And he also realized that he started to acquire trailers and then companies will actually rent the trailer from him and it will just sit, right? So let's think of Walmart, think of Sam's Club, all these companies that had bays. Sometimes they would have a lot of overstock, and then they would actually rent the trailer from him and say, "Hey, can we rent your trailer so we can put inventory in it to hold it?" Right? So he stumbled upon the trailer leasing space and he got really, really big. He's actually one of the biggest trailer leasing companies in Georgia. Right? So he said, "Hey, Darrell, you know a little bit about this online stuff. Can you help me out?" Right? So his expertise, just like I shared with you guys, was that he rented out trailers. Right? He stumbled upon that small niche in the trucking industry that not a lot of people were showing people how to get into. And honestly, a lot of people were what we call gatekeeping because it was so profitable. Right? So his thing was learn how to scale a trailer leasing company to 6 figures, even if you have no CDL history, transportation experience, or an 18-wheeler. Now, these words were used strategically. How do we know? We asked the people. Hey, what do you feel like is stopping you from starting a trailer leasing business? I don't have a CDL. I don't know anything about transportation. And I don't drive trucks. Delmar, how can I get into this? I don't drive trucks, right? I don't have any 18-wheeler history, right? So now that we hit the biggest objections, a person says, okay, I'll give this guy a listening ear, right? So the process that I showed you, this is step one. This is the registration page, right? Just like the last process, name, email, phone number. Yes, this is important. Yes, save my seat for the class, right? Yes, save my seat for the class. Now, this is the step 2 in the process. When I showed you, we offer them a little digital product, right? In order for them to actually purchase something before the class, so that way they can actually get our teaching style from these digital products, right? So this one is 47, this one is 27. This is just 2 different clients, right? Like I said, this is my client Delmar. He already had a book out. He already had videos out. I said, hey, bro, instead of creating new products, what do you already have? What are your existing assets that we can bundle up and create a new offer from it? He said, hey, Darrell, I got a book. Perfect. You have any videos? Yeah, I got a couple videos. Perfect. Let's bundle them up. Right? He had a mastermind video, right, from his community. We put 2 mastermind videos in his unreleased passive income book. That's what we rebranded it, call it unreleased passive income for $47. The first class we did, he had about, I think it was like 20 people or so purchase the $47 product for class. This is perfect, right? This is perfect because even if you teach for an hour and a half, or at max 2 hours, and no one takes your offer, if at least 10 people before class spent $47 with you, well, you got paid $470 for 1 hour of work. Not bad. Not bad. Right? So to the right is one of my friends. His name is Marvin. He's in the credit space as well. He came to me and said, hey, I like those little pages that you create for people. Can you help and do the same for me? And I asked him the same question that I asked Delmar. What assets do you already have that we can create an offer for? Right? Now, his offer was cheaper in price, but not in value. Right? Cheaper in price, but not in value. That's really, really big. So we literally did a survey and we looked to see what people wanted. People wanted bank tier cheat sheets, 25 anchor removal guides, stuff that I'm pretty sure Brian have already shared with you all, right? So we bundled it up into a little offer to sell to them before we had class, right? So this served 2 purposes, 2 purposes. The first purpose was we wanted to make money for class. I call it pre-class profits. Before this process, people came to me and said, hey, Darrell, um, thank you for this process. I got people on a call, but they not closing, right? Or transparently, sometimes you'll hold a class and some people just won't buy. Why? It's not the right time for them, right? So some people started feeling defeated. Hey, I did my class, nobody purchased. But when we implemented this and they started seeing sales roll in, even if nobody purchased on the call, they still felt compensated for their time through the digital products, right? Now, um, I wouldn't be me if I'm looking at this. The first thing I'm thinking of, okay, Darrell, this is dope. I appreciate you showing me the stuff about everybody else, but what about me? What about me? How can I create one of these? So step 1 in all of this, if you want to create yourself one of these little pre-class profit pages, this is the lens that I want you to look through. The first thing I want you to do is assess what products, what videos, what material that you already have, right? What works well here is cheat sheets, templates, right? Ebooks work well, and then videos. What I typically look to do is have 2 to 3 videos accompanied by maybe 2 to at max 3 like PDF style materials. The logic behind the videos is that people will watch the video and they'll get a sense of who I am. They'll get a sense of how I speak, how I teach, my personality, right? So when they actually come to class, they'll already feel like they didn't meet me for the first time. They already consumed whether it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or 40 minutes of me. My attention, they had my attention. I mean, I had their attention, right? Now, the reason that I put the templates, the cheat sheets, and all that other stuff in there is because also we have been trained, right? We have been trained that value is also through those products, right? It's also through PDFs, through cheat sheets, right? And I want them to have them so they can always reference them. And when they reference them, they're going to think about me, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to think about any videos that you have. How can you bundle it up with any type of PDFs or ebooks or whatever else that you have? 2 to 3 videos, 2 to 3 PDF style products, and you got yourself a mini course or a bundle, right? Now, if you are completely like, hey, Darrell, I don't have any of this material, I'm starting from scratch. The first place I used to go to was I still do kind of, but now my first stop is ChatGPT. That's my first stop. And all I do is I talk to ChatGPT just like I talk to a regular person. Hey, I'm thinking about selling this product to help this person get this result. What should I create? Right? And you can go even deeper to say, hey, I'm looking to sell this product or I'm looking to help this person get this result. I want to make a video and I want to make 2 or 3 PDFs to help them out. What should they be? And ChatGPT is going to tell you. Now, if you're a little manual, right? You're a little in the stone age like myself. I personally like to go on YouTube and I like to search and see what videos that solve a problem are people voting with their attention, right? So if it's a video on inquiry removal, perfect. I'm looking to recreate that. If it's a video on collections and I know it works, I'm looking to recreate that. And I can add that to my bundle, right? So a lot of people say, hey, Darrell, why would somebody pay for something if they can get it for free? Right? Why would they pay for something if they can go get it for free? Right? But it's the same reason that if we did, of course, we live in America, but if you live somewhere else, you live in Jamaica, you can literally go pick apples from a tree. But people still go to the market and buy the apples. Convenience, right? Convenience. The solution came at the right time, right? And the offer too. All right. So step 4 in this process is engagement. Oh, 3, I'm sorry. 3 in this process is engagement. This is what we call a thank you page. And it's really, really important to have this. For one, you want to let people know if they did buy the pre-class profits, you want to let them know, hey, this is the order value, the time of the class, right? The next thing is you want them to also tag you. This is really, really good and it works really, really well because now you can start to repost people and it's just like a party, right? Nobody wants to be the only person at the party or the only person going to the party. The more people you see, oh man, this person gonna be okay, well, it's gonna be a lot of people at this class. Let me really check it out. Nobody wants to be the only one, right? All right, so step 5, of course, is have a class and secure a sale via order page or a call, right? Order page or a call. Now, the difference between this process and the last process is on the last process, a person watched a video. Here's the thing when it comes down to watching a video. Some people don't watch the entirety of the video before they book a call. But at least on this, right? On the class, at the end of class, you have Q&A. So those people sat through an hour and a half. They know your product, they know the price. You went through some objections, right? So now they either buy directly on the page or they have a call with you to say, hey, look, I just got 1 or 2 personal questions I need to ask you. I just don't feel comfortable asking it in a setting of 20 to 30 people. Can we just hop on a call? I'm ready to pay. I just got this burning question. Cool. That call is a lot easier than a call where somebody may or may not have watched your training, right? All right. So, of course, the type of message your ad should contain. Now, here's one thing I also want to want to make sure you all understand. I know I'm talking about ads, and some people may be like, hey, Darrell, I don't even run ads. A great ad is nothing but content with money behind it. A great ad is content, good content with money behind it, right? So this is one of my past mentors. His name is Abu. He actually teaches ads, right? So this is his ad. He hits on a pain point, right? And then he directs them to the registration page. Diana Renee hits on a pain point, directs them to a registration page, right? She helps moms declutter their home and simplify their lives, right? This is a guy who does Amazon training. He hits on a pain point process, and then he goes in and sends them to a registration fee, right? Same process for you. All right. All right. So anybody have any questions thus far? Anybody have any questions thus far? Right? Any questions about their business? Any questions about the process? Let me know, let me know, let me know, let me know. No, no. Okay, okay, okay. All right. So, like I said, I just showed you guys the qualification funnel, right? That was the process number one. Just share with you process number two. Now, in this process, like I said, this is the one that I really, really love. This allows us to do 5K days, 10K days, 100K days, and the best we've had is $1 million. And I think we did $1 million in 4 months. In 4 months, right? I haven't been on a project where I've done $1 million in a day. The most we've done in a day is 100,000, but I have not done $1 million in a day. Soon to come though. Hopefully, speaking to existence, right? So the next process I'm gonna share with you all is the DPF, which is a digital product funnel. All right, let me see if I can catch that. Perfect, perfect, no problem, Bernie. Hopefully, I came to really deliver. I know Brian does not want any fluff, right? That's why I'm giving you this. It could be, I can give you a lot of motivation, but I'd rather give you the information, right? So the next process that a few people have online is when they first get online, they start selling digital products and they don't have a system to actually do it. So if you're already selling digital products and you don't have a system to send out your products once a person purchases to actually reel them back in to purchase, then this process is for you, right? So this is the digital product funnel. Great process that a lot of people may have went through and not even noticed, but this process is how you make money in your sleep, right? So essentially, typically, depending on where people are in their journey, I'll tell people to have an opt-in page, which is a small little page, like I shared before, where you get a person's name, email, phone number. Now, if a person is new to the online space, in order to eliminate friction, I won't include this in the process. I'll have what we call a sales page, right? And all a sales page is an explanation of what your product will deliver. The what, who, why, right? What's in it for me? Who is it really for? Why should I buy it? That's it. If you have those three core things, got a good sales page, and just drop a video on it, right? The next thing we have is a upsell, or we have a one-time offer, right? Which is essentially another product that will help a person along their journey. That's all. All we're just doing is it's an automated offering system. Hey, because you purchased this, would you like faster results? Right? Here's some templates. Here's some videos. Here's some masterminds that we've shot that'll help you get the result even faster. Now, if a person says no to this, then we typically have another offer where if we want to keep it super simple, we'll just cut the price, right? We'll either cut the price or we'll offer a payment plan, right? Now, this is key because this is how you create, I call it mini recurring revenue, right? Meaning, if this product is 97 bucks, if a person says no to a one-time payment of 97, typically I'll say, okay, can you do a two-time payment of 50 bucks, right? Whether it's 50 bucks a month or 50 bucks bi-weekly. I'm still getting my $100, but I'm also creating recurring revenue because if 10 people say, hey, you know what? I don't mind paying $50 a month, then now I created a $500 per month, well, for the next technically month revenue stream, right? But if we get 2 or 3 people every single day to commit to that, now I'm building up my mini recurring revenue, right? Same process here. And then here, this last one is a thank you page. Now, typically when it's a digital product or any, I don't want to strictly put it to digital products, but typically if it's a sales transaction, at the end on this page right here, I'm looking to really, really see which person is willing to buy my higher ticket product, right? I'm looking to see who wants to go fast and go fast with me, right? Who wants the premium service? And this is where we typically have a person book a call, right? Now that is completely optional. You don't have to have it. I have a couple friends who make anywhere between 300 and some that make 1 to 2,000 to 3,000 in a day from digital products. Some of them have high ticket coaching programs where they offer the sales call, right? And then some of them say, hey, Darrell, I don't even want to deal with that. I would just rather sell my digital products, let them go through the product. That's it. Complete. They both work well. All about how you want your business to flow and how you want your lifestyle to flow, right? So of course, I'm gonna show you all this process. So once again, step one, this is just simple, it's some more to it, but we sold an ebook on this one. Now, typically, I personally don't like to sell ebooks alone. I personally like to sell bundles, right? Remember, your bundle is two videos with either 2 or 3 accompanying PDFs or literature to actually accompany that video. Looks better, the offer feels better, feels like you're getting more bang for your buck, right? And then also when it comes down to ebooks, it's only so much that you can sell an ebook for because Amazon has technically set the price on the ebook market, right? So this is an ebook. I think this one we sell for it's like $7, about $7. And this my client is in the real estate niche, typically how to buy land bank properties, right? So in our digital product process, they come to a page like this, $7 ebook, super simple page, right? $7. Now, one of the things that I did not share with you all, but I'm glad you were able to see it um, as a demonstration, is we have what we call an order bump, right? I call it the Snickers at the checkout. Now, this allows a person to go from spending $7 to $54 with us. And this is pivotal if you're running ads, as well as pivotal if you want to maximize the amount of money someone can spend with you, right? So when you look at this right here, this is what we call impulse buys, impulse buys. What I want to put right here is my sexy stuff, my hacks, right? My hacks, my templates, little outcome based stuff, right? 10 steps to purchase your first land bank property, 10-step guides, cheat sheets, the sexy stuff that goes here, right? And if it has some videos, cool. Now, normally I wouldn't do 47, but sometimes I'll just text. But if you're just starting out, 17, 27, 37, and then you can test 47. Right? Now, if you're optimizing, right, if you want to talk to more people, one thing that we do here as a cheat sheet is we'll frame our call as a consultation, right? As a consultation call. So now we're getting people to pay us to talk to them, right? All right. So and next in the process is what we call the upsell, right? So now they have the ebook. Naturally, when you think of another product, I'm looking at better, faster, easier, right? Better, faster, easier. What's better than an ebook? A mini course, because they can visually go through the whole process that's in the ebook, right? Videos, templates, etc. So this is 497. Now, if they say no to that, we have a smaller, condensed mini course. Not as much information as the ebook, but it can get them a result, right? Cheaper alternative. And I think this was 97 bucks, right? 97 bucks. So we went from 497 to 97. The reason we did that is a person was like, hey man, I don't want to pay the 497. Okay, I'll do 97. Right? Now, alternatively, like I said, I personally like to create the mini recurring revenue. So he already had some of this stuff outside of me, but I would have taken that 497 and then put it into 2 or 3 payments of or I might would have did 4 payments of 97, right? So 97 a month, or 5 payments, I'm sorry, of 97. So now I know for the next 5 months, albeit they don't, cancel out, I got $100 coming, right? And I'm looking to get 10 more people. So now I'm looking to have $1,000 a month recurring for the next 5 months, right? So that way we can start creating. We're not starting from zero, right? All right, so where's my final example number 2 go? Oh man, y'all got me. Oh man, what did I do my number 2? All right, I feel bad now. I gotta check. I think I got another one for y'all. But before I go into number 2, anybody have any questions? Any questions? Any questions? I feel like I gave y'all. I talked for. I feel like I gave y'all a lot of info. So anybody have any questions pertaining to their business and how they can implement it?
I have a couple questions.
Yes, sir.
So how do you create those opt-in pages?
Man, that's a whole masterclass. But
Okay,
essentially, I use Go High Level, right? I use Go High Level. So they have templates and stuff like that. So a lot of those pages are already created for you. You just plug
okay,
in your information. Go High Level is good. ClickFunnels is what I started from. And then they have something else called Systeme.io. That's pretty good. But yeah, once you pretty much get any of those softwares, they'll already have the pages. Most of them are drag and drop now. Like it's literally drag and drop. Anything outside that, you can keep it super simple, right? And then
thank
once
you.
you start to, no problem. And then once you start to like really generate revenue, then you can start, if you want, right? Starting to go like a little fancier with different graphics and stuff like that. But yeah, you can keep. Oh, another one you can use is Stand Store. If you Stand Store, if you selling digital products, right? Stand is really good. A lot of my clients that sell digital products have a lot of success with Stand Store because it's super simple. Like most of that stuff is already created for you. All you're literally doing is just literally popping in your information, and then you good to go. Right. And then Brian, what's the other one that you I think you might use it. It's not
Yeah.
Stan. Or is it Stan?
Yeah, so when I started with Stan Store a couple years ago, but now I'm using Pensight.
Pinsite?
Yeah,
Okay. What's so good? Well, what do you like about it?
Pensight.
Hmm.
Well, it's probably the closest thing to Stan Store. I
Okay.
still like Stan Store better, but
Yep.
for specific reasons, I can't use Stan Store anymore.
Yeah, you're in the
But
high risk industry. I already know.
yeah, but now Pensight is really just the closest thing that I found to Stan Store. But there's also Beacons. Beacons is another option.
Okay. Beacons. Yep. So, yeah, each of those options are really good, depending on kind of where you want to go. I personally like Go High Level the most because you have text message, email, everything that a pretty much business owner needs. Um, especially this is specifically online too, right? You need to like get up and going without paying for all these fancy tech and trying to Go High Level has everything. And then you can go to, your stand stores and your systems and your pin sites, right? If you're not necessarily worried about like the follow-up stuff.
Thank you.
Hey, my pleasure, my pleasure. What business are you in or are you looking to get into?
Well, I've been looking at doing like a spiritual healing camp.
Okay.
And so it's like kind of the same thing, it's not a digital product. And actually listening to you, I could probably start one,
Yeah.
you know, like having the be the cheaper option. It's like, hey, I'll show you comm settings and have like I don't know, Reiki or something like that instead of just doing the camp.
Yeah, I think so I'm like curious guy by nature, right? But there's a plethora of things that you can put out, even if it's from like lead generation or low ticket or lower price digital products. I know when it comes down to like Reiki or spiritual or some of the stuff that can change a person's mood, can change their energy is just like the sounds, right? Different sounds and stuff. So it could be for $7, you can give them, three or four audios that will, allow you to be spiritually aligned, or if your energy is off, it'll realign your energy and stuff like that, right? And then from there, when you establish the relationship through emails, through text messages, through content, etc., then you can move them into the camp, right? Because you helped them out.
Thank you.
No problem. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody have an existing business where they might need some ideas, or anybody aspire to have a business and they just want to validate that they're that they on the right track? Because sometimes I personally think like when we don't have someone else to like bounce ideas off of, it can be a good thing or it can be detrimental, because somebody could tell you like, hey, don't do that because I've been down that path, do this instead, right? Or somebody could say, hey, that's a great idea. You should have already did it, right? And it's confirmation. So, uh, no, no, no. Okay, okay, okay. Cool, cool, cool. All right, well, if y'all have any questions for me, I'm gonna drop my Instagram. I'm gonna drop my Instagram in the chat. Oh, thing is that crazy. That's my Instagram in the chat. You can check me out. Just drop me, if you need any help, need any assistance, feel free to shoot me a DM, follow me, I'll follow you back, of course. Right. And that's where I share just different marketing things, whether it's Facebook ads, projects that I'm working on, things that's relevant, my little world that I'm in. But Brian, if all you guys are good to go, I greatly appreciate you allowing me to share something that's near and dear to my heart with you all. And once again, follow me on IG. I follow you back. And let's win. Yeah. Yes, man. Okay. All right. So this is my personal cell right here. So if you shoot me a text first, and then just let me, introduce yourself. Like, hey, I met you on Brian's call, and then I'll say your number, because sometimes, with the spam stuff is it, it get crazy. So but yeah, I appreciate you all. You are in what I call all state hands, right? Brian got you.
I
Brian got
appreciate that.
you. So all right, everyone. If it's no more from my end, I'm gonna clock out and I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you, Darrell.